मरेश बाप
Yes. Oh,
पहिले तुका
yes.
मनोनीत परबी आणि कॉंग्रॅच्युलेशन. हे आता 100 पावले फेस्त करता करता वर्साची वर्स कशी पासार जाली ही फेस्त करून कांयच कळुना. खंयच्या खंयच्या गांवांक तूं वता आनी हांगा कितें व्हडवीक घेता आमचे ट्रेडिशन्स गोंयची गोंयचे कल्चर गोंयचे म्युजीक आतां हे फेस्त तुज्या हे म्युजियम घरांतले म्युजियमाक हांगा आमी आयल्या आनी हे पोतेकाराचे फेस्ता आतांच आमी दिवली पेटून सुरवात केल्या. पण म्हाका सांग हे फेस्ताची आयडिया तूं केन्ना केन्ना म्हाका म्हणी पोतेकाराचे आतां ते सोशल मिडियाचेर वाट लायता मरे लोकांच्या घरांनी घुसता तोंडाक मास्क घालता आनी कोण कितें कात कळना डेंजरस जालां हें. ही तुजी उतरां हांव आयकतालो पण अचानक तुवें आली फेस्त एनावन्स केलें. कशी आयली तुका फेस्ताची आयडिया?
Yeah, thank you very much, Prakash. We've been on this long journey of Festa all over Goa, and the main aim of our Festa is that we need to share knowledge.
Correct.
If we don't share knowledge in future, we cannot blame the next generation. Because I hear wherever I go to Goa saying, Burgyang podung na and Burgyang taka naka. But if we do not share the knowledge with the next generation, they're not going to do it. So it's up to us. So today we've reached a point for this Potekar that if we do not talk about it, and what dangers lie ahead, another festival will be finished. Yeah. So hence today we met, but we'll go back a bit.
Yes.
So in the childhood, when we first arrived from Africa in 1976, we came to this house and our cousin Patrick and them were here. Rena probably was here. At that time, the Potekar was infancy. The Portuguese had just left about a decade before that.
Yes.
So everything was like new in those days. And it was a completely innocent time in Goa. Everything was very innocent. People were, doing things in a different way. Now, over 50 years later, situation has completely changed. So in those days, there were no plastic. So if you had to do a mask like this, you had to think. Yeah, we had to think. So if you think means you had to use your knowledge, your sense, and ask your elders on how to do things. So there used to be wooden masks or statues in the church of Jesus and the saints. So yeah, so we used to use paper, they call it masha now. So we used to go to the churches. Sometimes the priest would allow you, sometimes mostly they would not allow you. So we sort of knew what time the priests were not there. We used to enter the churches and all through the night inside the churches. Just imagine the scandal today. Go there and for weeks, 1 week before, it was my turn. I used to go all night, put the paper, take my glue, put it on Jesus, and next morning probably it's ready, take mine out. Next day somebody else would go. And like that, over 200 masks were prepared all over the village, Samathias and Divar. Once the masks are ready, that's just the beginning. The story about the Potekar is it is a festival where every top secrecy had to be maintained. Nobody knew who was dressed up on the day. So if you see as a room at the back of our house, there's a toilet, old Portuguese toilet at the back. When we were here, when the Portuguese time, the Dukranca Kumau. So that toilet was transformed into a Potekar safe house. So there everything was happening. While our parents were busy in the front, all the boys were in there at night preparing the mask, getting clothes. Now we need clothes, oversized clothes, mask, bells. You needed cowbells. So everything was brought and kept in there. And today being Sunday, so we would be for mass. And 11 o'clock, we are here in the safe house. Everybody would dress up in silence. And then through the hill, we would go to the village. So nobody knew we are from Malar or Divar. And that we used to go all round with gumots, guitars, singing, dancing, and go to people's home door to door. There we were served sweets, soft drinks, biscuits, and cakes. And that was the life in those days. Over the years, now things have changed dramatically. Now you'll get ready-made stuff. So what happened? Children don't have knowledge. Straight away your knowledge is gone. They do not know how to make masks because we have moved on. Second thing, they do not know what you're supposed to do at Potekar. So they just go on social media and put this. So this year, it's a bit early today. Later on, you would see lots of bloggers come from all over Goa who are actually from rest of India. They will come here and they will not know what they are supposed to do. They will just go around the roads, block all the roads, stop.
Basically, the innocence is gone.
Yeah,
Criminal activity also is creeping in very bad
yeah,
ways.
yeah, happening. And now the dangers are that we have, as our friend Mariana said today, have had to inform the police because this event does not have a father, a mother, a brother. It's a free for all event. Everybody, anybody can dress up. Hello, Miguel. Come,
Yeah,
sit.
come.
So anybody can dress up anytime, anywhere. There is no rules and regulation. So as Mariano has said, there needs self-monitoring. Yeah, coming up. Yeah, yeah. So this needs self-monitoring at the moment, but eventually it needs to be taken over by somebody or the other. Just in time, we've got Miguel arrive, our friend, and our Potekar is sitting next door. Yes, Mariano. Uh, the story of our Potekar today is, as I said earlier to them, it's at a crossroads. Potekar is at the crossroads as it doesn't have a father, mother. And we've had to basically call the police to come to our village today just to monitor, what could happen. Could be up to 500 people dress up today, and we do not know who these people are. We do not know if they are from Divar or from outside. And if they are from outside Divar, they do not know our culture, they do not know our heritage, and they do not know what they are supposed to do. I mean, that is risky if they don't know what they're supposed to do. If you all remember, we had a, oh yes, look, you don't know who that guy is. We had another festival called Bondera on this island. And when we were young at Bondera, we had something called the Fotas, which was a mock gun with a bamboo. Yeah,
Bullet.
yeah. So that the seeds were used as bullets. But what happened with that? The year I came in the year 2000, lot of people started coming to Divar and using the photos not from Divar. So we were aiming at the flags. There were flags, and we used to aim at the flags because we are from the village. But people from outside didn't know how to use the photos, started aiming at each other, and it's really dangerous if it hits you on the eye. And a lot of people got hit. And then the parish priest, now he's no longer with us, just one day announced he's banned it. Just imagine a 400-year-old history disappears in one go because the priest himself is not from the village, no discussion, and history ends. So we do not want this Pataka to go that way. Yeah, we need to be organized. We'll have to think of a way of doing it. We got two big clubs on the island, PYA, Yada Youth Association, and Samathiya Sports Club. And we have got so many learned people in Divar and across Goa. It should not be left to people on Divar to decide how we are going to take this forward. And why am I talking about that? It should not be left to people in Divar, is because we will go around the table now, and you all will not be surprised to know this Potekar existed in every village in Goa, but with a different name. Last week I was in a village called Chinchini, and we were telling them there's a fest coming up, and they said, yeah, yeah, Amcha Gawan Halle, and they called it as Rupne. Their Potekar was Rupne. Other villages were Moe, and other villages were, yes, Sakakar. Yeah. So Miguel, please tell us what is your memories of the Potekar and how it was celebrated in your own villages.
In Mapsa, we had the carnival, which was slightly different from the rest of Goa. We had the Rano and the Rani. Because somewhere in the 1700s, Mapsa was captured by Cristobal Rane, and then afterwards it was again taken over by the Portuguese, the Tropa, and we had the chapel of the Suissos, which has now been called as the Swiss chapel. So from Angod, the couple that got married closest to Carnival was nominated as the Rano and the Rani. And they were dressed up like the Ranis and taken in procession up to where the health center is. And there the flag of the Ranis was raised on Sunday. And we used to have fights with cocottes, small cartridges made with lime powder inside or even clay. in kite paper, and we used to have fights between groups. Uh, One side of the road to the other side of the road, there would be groups, and you would prepare long in advance, maybe a month in advance, you prepare this cocotte and keep for the fights. And after the flag was hoisted for 3 days, there was merriment, and then on Tuesday, the flag was shot down by the Portuguese troop which was there. It was shot down to say this is the end of the Rano's era over there. And we had devils are Mr. King, who used to people used to dress up in black and have a red tongue stitched onto where their mouth is, and they would wear cowbells and run about how Potekars do here. We also had the Moyakars who only put a mask. That time, like here, made out of papier mâché because you did not have fiberglass and other plastics that time. So papier mâché mask were used, which is called as moyen, and they would come house to house on the streets, water pistols and talcum powder mostly. And the targets were mostly young girls on the roads whose hair would be made white. They would look like old ladies with the powder, and the color would be splashed all over the clothing. But it was a very decent way of doing things. There was no molestation, there was no harassment. People put powder, put colors. People got scared of the devil's nature, those who were dressed in black. And that was the tradition in Mapsam. For 3 days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We did not have anything on Saturday as Penjim did. Penjim also used to have assault between the students of Lyceum versus the rest of Penjim. Same way with Cocots, they used to fight. The rowdiest students were from the Lyceum. So they would hold their own, and the fight was at the bottom of the Lyceum steps.
At the bottom.
So they would hold their own, and they knew their steps, where to hide and how to hide. So that was the tradition in Panjim, the assault, which we also had in Mapsa.
So you were telling us earlier about how they did Potekar in your village. Yeah?
Okay, I'm Jacqueline Alvarez from Sarzora, Chinchini. In my childhood time, because I don't remember, but I just have a thing of it, a memory of it, because it had taken place before 1960s. So it seems when we were, I can remember some, but I have got knowledge from my village people. It is like that. At the time of this carnival time, these people used to come dressed up with the big long clothes and the oversize, and they used to wear a mask, and they used to come at the doorstep, and they used to make some noise because they did not want to get recognized who they are. And at every doorstep, they used to come with a big bag, and they used to have a small box in their hand, which there were some lots were there in that. And on that lot, some names were written on that. And if you had to buy the lot, you had to pay 1 rupee at that time. And once the lot is taken, there used to be written some gift on that, say like a toothbrush or toothpaste or a pencil or rubber, like that. So they would be happy if they would get it, and then they would just serve them something, and then they would go. And simultaneously, they used to even make the small paper lime powder, mix I mean covered with small papers, and they used to, yeah, coconuts, they used to throw on that, and they used to even throw powder on the people. And they later years, they used to put that cashew juice. And after that thing yes, and that thing faded away, which came away with this floats. So that we used to call them monet. Yeah, monet. Yeah, monet card.
So thank you, Jacqueline. Next we have Mariana. Mariana, so Mariana living in Kolle. So Baba, just tell us about your childhood.
Now, ayok सांगता. In my childhood, in सांतिस्तेवा, आम्ही मोनेकार म्हणटाले. आणि मोनेकार म्हणजे हिंगा दिवाळेन तुका हें करताले, मास्कां करताले. आमचे थिंगा गोस लायताले. तेलान लावन गोसलान कोणाक वळखोवपाक जायनासले. केन्ना साक यूज करताले आनी ओवरसायज कपडां घालताले. आनी आख्ख्या गांवांक भोंवताले ते कोकादी घेवन हें करून. आनी कोकादी करपाक आमी पयले दोंगरार वयताले आनी ती माती हाडटाले. ती माती धाडून म्हयनो आदीं आमी कार्नावालीच्या पयलो म्हयनो आदीं हें करताले, तयारी करताले, म्हणजे सगळें हें करपाक पावडर करपाक कांय यूज करनासले. तर मागीर न्यू येयली इंडिगो, ती यूज करपाक लागले, म्हणजे टॅल्कम पावडर येवपाक. सो ऑल दीस थिंग एंड ग्रॅज्युअली आमी हें करताले, फ्लोट्स करताले, म्हणजे वाड्याचे आमचे फ्लोट्स करताले. आनी त्या फ्लोटांनी आमी सगळे न्हेसोन, सगळे दादले बायलो न्हेसोन आमी हें जाताले. आनी इतलो सारको बिंग आयलंड आमचे बरें हें जातालें इंत्रूस म्हणून. मागीर एज टायम पास आमचे भुरगे भायर गेले, ते एकठांय चेडवांक हें करपाक लागले, चेडवांचेर हें करपाक लागले. तेन्ना मागीर ते आमी बंद केले. आनी फर्स्ट टायम हांवें फ्लोट काडलो 2001. होर्रात गोंयकार म्हणटा तो आतां कांतार येयला न्हू, ते होर्रात जुंयेकार. आय वॉज द फर्स्ट वन टू इनिशिएट दॅट सॉंग. आनी तो हांवें ते हेचे केले, ट्रेडिशनल फ्लोट केलो तो. And we won the 3 prizes, first prizes in all of Goa. And that was the beginning of traditional float in Goa.